Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd like to just make a couple of comments in respect of the recommendations by the committee on the ILSC annual report of 2016. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are recommendations in respect of the accounting procedures at the Commission itself. And just to highlight that there's no member of the Commission administrative staff are signatories to the ILSC accounts. And indeed, now the accounting of that has been outsourced to, and request has been made actually to outsource it to Ernst & Young and develop a financial policy and procedure manual for the Commission itself. And Mr. Speaker, sir, the other point, of course, to make is that the committee is recommending that there be a full-time commissioner. Mr. Speaker, sir, we'd like to highlight the fact that the Commission actually functions or has hearings only when a matter is brought to its attention. So you don't actually have, for example, like a normal court system where you have a number of cases before it. It only arises when there's a complaint lodged. The complaint is, of course, lodged with the legal practitioners unit that is, in fact, managed by the chief registrar. Once the complaint is investigated and they believe that there is a matter that needs to be referred or a person is charged under the relevant law, then the matter goes to the Commission for hearing. So it would be, in fact, a waste of resources to have a commissioner be there full-time. But the commissioner that is appointed is always there present when the need arises, as opposed to somebody simply being appointed just to sit there and wait for cases to come on its way. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'd just like the committee to make a note of that. Again, there is a recommendation that says that the Commission to be adequately funded. Of course, the committee has not said as to why there is requirement for more funding. However, it should be noted that the funding of the Commission is actually through the Trust Account Act, which is the contribution fund that comes through that. There's a particular percentage breakdown that comes from the trust accounts. The trust accounts that solicitors keep, Mr. Speaker, sir, those funds are then disbursed. The interest rate that's earned from that is actually disbursed to various accounts, including the Legal Aid Commission and also for the funding of the Independent Legal Services Commission. Most Honourable Minister for Lands has highlighted the fact that the ILSC, in fact, has been a wonderful creation in respect of allowing members of the public who have complaints against their solicitors or their lawyers, as we call them in Fiji. We have to note, Mr. Speaker, sir, that we still have a lot of recalcitrant lawyers who are not doing the right thing, as he highlighted himself. And we would take this opportunity to urge all members of the public, please do not hesitate to lodge a complaint with the Legal Practitioners Unit. There are a number of people who have spoken to us privately who say lawyer XYZ took more money than was required. In one particular instance, we had a lawyer with an overseas investor said, send me $20,000 now. I need to go and consult certain people. I need to consult landowners, goli owners. I need to go and consult the municipal council. I need to go and consult the Ministry of Industry and Trade and ask them for money to do that. That's part and parcel of their job. But unfortunately, some of them, because of fear of perhaps repercussions or because some of these lawyers have threatened them, do not come forward and actually lodge those complaints. Please urge them to lodge those complaints. It is only through a robust complaints mechanism and through people actually lodging those complaints will we be able to set a higher standard in respect to the service delivery by lawyers. A lot of lawyers, I should say some lawyers, still believe they have some sort of elevated position in society and they can get away with whatever they can as far as their clients are concerned. So please, you have the rights there. You have the Independent Legal Services Commission. Recall when we actually set this up, the Independent Legal Services Commission, there were a lot of people who said that this was not a good institution, but immediately after it was set up, everybody said it was a wonderful institution because it brings the professionals into account. And we hope to set up a similar independent body in respect to some of the other professionals. We have said in the past we'll do that. but we hope to get a multi-pronged or multifaceted commission that, for example, can look at accountants, can look at engineers and various other professionals, where we still find a lot of shenanigans that goes on vis-a-vis the relationship between the client and the professional. We have, of course, Mr. Speaker, sir, the Legal Practitioners Act that provides the basis for this commission, and we currently have one of the judges, Justice Gounder, that sits as the commissioner to the ILSC. And again, we'd like to thank all of those involved. The Legal Practitioners Unit, Mr. Speaker, sir, is actually funded by government directly through the funding that's provided to the judiciary. And we intend to look at how we can work better with them, because there are a number of matters that are still with the LPU that needs attention. And I'd like to, of course, take this opportunity now to thank the committee for their report. Thank you.